Now at 5 a.m., it's WKYT This Morning. A severe storm rolled through the Lexington area overnight, and it's caused some damage. We'll have more on that and today's forecast coming right up.
The search continues for a missing Northern Kentucky couple. Police say the two were murdered. We'll have more on where they're searching today.
And family members say a Montgomery County man is lucky to be alive after a mobile home fell on him. How that man is doing now, that and more on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your morning.
Gonna make the best of it, right?
Yes.
Go ahead. You're who?
Did you know who I am? Do you know who I am, Bill?
Rebecca Smith. I just talked over you. I'm Bill Bryant. It's good to have you with us.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think so. It's early, isn't it?
It is really early. We need help. We need coffee.
Steamy
right
temperatures
here.
out there this morning, and it looks like today, as the day goes along, more of those storms that we heard overnight. That was some of the deal.
Very loud, Micah.
Woke up.
Yeah, it was. It was very loud. Right around midnight, it was 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. rather, to about midnight to maybe even 1 p.m. in a couple of zones. There were just some loud storms, and there was an isolated severe cell in there too. So it was just one of those that we had to watch very closely. And Defender Radar Network still picking up on some of these rumbles of thunder down toward the south and back toward the east. Nothing of concern right now, but strong storms will develop later on this afternoon. Remember, we're going to have a rain chance during the morning hours, but the biggest part of it, the bulk of it, comes later on this afternoon. I'm going to get into that, and I'll show you the timeline coming up.
Okay, thank you. And a severe thunderstorm did roll through the Lexington area overnight, and it's left some damage in its wake.
Here in Lexington, there were several reports of trees and limbs down. This is a look at the mess caused on Parker's Mill Road. At one point overnight, more than 800 customers in Lexington were without power. Weather may have been a factor in an overnight motorcycle crash in Lexington. Police say the driver lost control on Paris Pike near Kingston Road just before midnight. The driver had only minor injuries in that. It's been a little more than a week since a Northern Kentucky couple went missing. And
Robert Jones and Crystal Warner were last seen in Washington County. Police say they were murdered, but the bodies have not been found. This morning, the Kentucky K-9 team is going to Washington County to search. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with more on that. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. And that search for the missing couple will start in 3 hours. The canines will search the area around the home in Springfield where Robert Jones and Crystal Warner were last seen 11 days ago. Witnesses told state police they saw Craig Pennington, the couple's tenant, shoot them and take their bodies. After days of exhaustive searches, their remains still have not been found. 6 days after they disappeared, Pennington was arrested and charged with murder after investigators found Warner's car near a gas station in Scott County. Excuse me. Friends of the couple say they were involved in Jeep clubs in the Cincinnati area. Members of those clubs are now working with state police to organize a new search. And this weekend, the tireless search teams will also expand their search to another county to cover some new ground. Coming up at 5:30, we'll explain why the couple's friends will start looking for their bodies in Clark County. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And now to our Michelle Chamberlain with details on a shooting in eastern Kentucky. Michelle.
Bill, that shooting happened around 1:30 this morning in Harlan County. We just talked to Kentucky State Police, and here's what we know so far this morning. Police tell us this shooting happened on Pope Hill Road. That's off of Kentucky 72, just south of Harlan. Dispatchers say at last check, the man who was shot was still alive. Now, we've also learned that state police are interviewing a woman at police headquarters about that shooting. We don't know if she's considered a suspect or if she's related to the victim. Of course, we'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. We are making calls, and we'll update you on our website, WKYT.com, and on here, WKYT This Morning.
All right, thank you. Family members say a Montgomery County man is lucky to be alive after a mobile home fell on him. That happened late yesterday afternoon on Sawmill Road near Jeffersonville. Family members say Estel Callahan was working underneath the home trying to shift it when it slipped, pinning Callahan underneath.
He couldn't hardly say anything. He was out of breath. I mean, it was crushing his chest, you know, and he just saying, get it off, you know, he just wanted it off.
Emergency crews came, they freed Callahan, took him to the hospital, and late last night Callahan was released from the hospital. His daughter tells us that he does not have any internal injuries, but he's very sore.
A man accused of robbing and killing another man will appear before a Clark County judge today. Danny Tharp was originally charged with the assault and robbery of Jeff Adams back in May, but Winchester police upgraded those charges when Adams died from his injuries. Now Tharp is charged with murder and robbery. He's being held at the Clark County Jail on a $1 million bond. The Republican National Committee rules expected to vote in Cleveland today on whether to allow delegates to vote their conscience at next week's convention instead of voting for Donald Trump.
The development comes amid mounting speculation over who the presumptive Republican nominee will announce as his running mate tomorrow. Brian Webb has the latest on the campaign.
Donald Trump says he's whittled down his vice presidential picks to 2 ahead of his big announcement. Appearing on Fox News, he hinted at who his VP might be.
I want to pick somebody who's solid, who's smart. I'm not looking for an attack dog.
Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich indicated the choice might be between him and Indiana Governor Mike Pence.
Certainly, I'm one of the people who will be sitting by the phone waiting.
The presumptive GOP nominee huddled with Gingrich as well as Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions in Indianapolis Wednesday. The meetings came after Trump and his 3 eldest children met privately with Governor Pence at his mansion.
I think he's giving it very careful consideration, and we're humbled to be a part of that.
A new poll finds Trump gaining ground on Hillary Clinton in several key swing states, including Florida and Pennsylvania. In Illinois yesterday, the presumptive Democratic candidate continued to paint herself as a unifier, delivering an address from the same location where Abraham Lincoln made his famous House Divided speech.
Donald Trump is so dangerous. His campaign is as divisive as any we have seen in our lifetimes.
Clinton has been eyeing Virginia Senator Tim Kaine as a potential VP. She'll campaign alongside him in his home state today. Brian Webb for CBS News.
And ahead of the Virginia event, Hillary Clinton will also be meeting with Senate Democrats in Washington, a group likely to be filled with potential nominees. Meanwhile, Donald Trump holds a series of fundraisers in California. It's been a year now since the murder of a Clay County man here in Kentucky, and police say they still have not made any arrests in the case. Police say they found 68-year-old Lawrence Sizemore dead in his home on July 13th last year. They say someone killed him and then set his house on fire on Highway 577 in Sextons Creek. Sizemore's family says they're frustrated that no one has been arrested.
He was old-fashioned, and he didn't use like debit cards, credit cards, anything like that. So I mean, anybody that knew him knew he would have cash on him.
State police say this is an active investigation, and they're currently following up on all leads in the case.
It's been a year since devastating flash flooding in Johnson County killed 4 people. Hundreds of homes were damaged or destroyed in the flood as well. The Flat Gap community was among the hardest hit. One man we talked to yesterday says while he didn't lose his home, the flood took much of what he owned, including vehicles and his garage.
Everything I worked for was gone. I mean, gone. If we was standing here 1 year ago today in this spot, you would be drowned.
Some survivors who lost their homes in the flood have since moved back to Flat Gap. They say they're thankful the flood happened in the afternoon because they fear if it had happened at night, many lives would have been lost.
Yeah, tough comeback there. Well, this morning, Fayette County School Superintendent Emmanuel Kalk is scheduled to make an announcement. Kalk is expected to talk about a new initiative to address achievement gaps that have faced the community for more than 30 years. He's set to make the announcement at 10 o'clock this morning at Tates Creek High School. New this morning, Meijer is planning on hiring more than 100 new employees for its Lexington area stores. Store leaders say they're hoping to hire about 35 people at each of 3 locations. Those stores are the Man of War Meijer, the one on Reynolds Road in Lexington, as well as the Richmond Meijer. People who are interested can go to those stores from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Saturday to apply for a wide variety of available positions. Our WKYT this morning just getting started. Great to have you with us here on your Thursday.
With new technology, people can now control drones with their minds. That's a little scary. That sounds crazy and scary. We'll have more on the story coming back.
That's ahead. Also, the solution one cell phone company has for bad service at crowded events. And the only airline to offer bereavement fares. We'll tell you about that. The money stories are ahead.
We will have a storm chance this morning. It's about 40%. And then we get into the afternoon and off into the evening hours, and that's when the strong to potentially severe thunderstorms move on in. I'm going to break down the timeline coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have a couple of blips there on the radar early this morning, and some of those throwing off a couple of strikes of lightning, which, if you're hearing thunder this morning, yeah, you're right there under those three cells down south and off toward the east. The first one is actually rolling just to the south of Mount Vernon into the Livingston area. This is an area that's going to be hopping later on this evening as Martina McBride will be in town at the Renfro Valley Entertainment Center. You will have the chance at some thunderstorms during that time. However, the Renfro Valley Entertainment Center is actually indoors, so there's some good news right there. But the problem is you're still getting some thunderstorms and a few more going on toward the Campton area. West Liberty about to get in on the action on downtown. If you're not seeing it already, you will, and another cell right behind that too. So pretty heavy downpours. They're brief, but they're heavy, and expect that through West Liberty and Morgan County here through the next 30 minutes or so. 74 degrees there in Lexington. It's 77 right now in Richmond, Berea, Waco, Danville, Perryville. It is nasty outside. It does not feel good as you walk out the door. If you are a person who loves to exercise in the morning, yeah, just wait for this morning. It's going to be very humid as you're walking out the door. During the morning hours, about a 40% chance at a few rumbles of thunder. Then we get into the afternoon and evening hours. Anywhere from 2 p.m. to about 8 p.m. is your best bet to see these storms roll on through. They will be strong. There is a lot of moisture outside for these storms to tap into. So they will be strong, and that's giving off a marginal risk, the lowest end risk of severe weather that we can have. We have that for today for everybody. So if you're watching this morning, it is for you. So that goes north, south, east, or west. An isolated severe cell is possible during the afternoon hours. Friday, a few storms here and there. Most of us dry on Friday. Then we hit the weekend, and most of us stay dry this weekend. We're seeing dropping of those chances of rain both Saturday and Sunday. I'll tell you this, Sunday, we more than likely, if I see one more model run actually show that it's drying out, I'm just going to take rain chances all the way out on Sunday. But Saturday, still a chance at least down in southern Kentucky. That is your best bet there on Saturday. So for the most part, guys, it's about the strong storms today. And then we head toward Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We just continually watch these rain chances drop because that front continues to push on through. Actually, Saturday might feel pretty nice. 85 degrees, lower humidity.
Oh, that's great.
That's what we need.
We could use it, yeah. Micah, thank you. Really appreciate it. Time is 5:15 this morning.
Controlling robots with your mind, Bill.
That's kind of unbelievable stuff now, is it right?
It definitely sounds like something out of science fiction.
Apparently we're getting there. Researchers say it is now a reality. Researchers at Arizona State University say when you imagine certain shapes in your mind, different areas of the brain light up. And they have found a way to use those thoughts to control multiple drones.
Ew.
Their research is funded by an $860,000 grant from the Department of Defense. But they say while there are obvious military applications, there are also plenty of everyday applications. The next step for them is to develop a system where multiple people control multiple robots. Where is this all going?
Great news. Not really. But, obviously it could have some great implications for, people maybe who are paralyzed,
Well, we'll just see where it all goes. But interesting science, huh? Good to have you along this morning at 5:16 Thursday on WKYT.
We've got to look at your money. Stay with us.
The solution one cell phone company has for bad service at crowded events, and the homes that bounce back the biggest after the housing crisis. I'm Kenneth Craig. I'll have those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Hey, good morning and welcome back in. It's great to have you with us on WKYT on this Thursday. We're rolling toward the weekend. It's now 5:20. The solution that one cell phone company has for bad service at crowded events and the homes that bounce back from the housing crisis.
And the only airlines to offer bereavement fares. Kenneth Craig has the latest on your money.
Homes that went into foreclosure during the housing crisis are now skyrocketing in value. The real estate website Zillow says foreclosed homes have nearly doubled in value. They're appreciating faster than other homes. Stocks didn't move much Wednesday following a record-setting couple of days. The Dow closed up 24 points. The Nasdaq fell 17. AT&T says it may have a solution to bad cell service at packed venues like a concert or a sporting event. The company is trying out a drone program. It wants to fly drones with cell service overhead to provide additional signal. And fewer airlines are offering discounted fares to people who are going home to a family member's funeral. Delta and Alaska Airlines are the only major airlines that still offer bereavement fares. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Kenneth Craig.
And Amazon is calling this year's Prime Day sale its biggest day ever.
The company says orders during Tuesday's sale surged more than 60% around the world compared to last year. Amazon said it created the holiday as a special benefit for members, and members took advantage, buying 2 million toys, 1 million pairs of shoes, and more than 90,000 TVs. There were a few glitches. Some shoppers said they couldn't add items to their cart at checkout. Amazon acknowledged the problem and fixed it by lunchtime. You can expect to see another Prime Day sale. Amazon said the event was so fun, it's planning to do it again.
Well, I guess it was for them
Maybe
making
the
that money,
economy's
right?
kicking back up. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, and I guess a lot of folks are looking for maybe dare we say, back to school items. You know,
Right,
we're getting
right.
close, right? All right, more news coming up on WKYT here in just a bit.
Sports is up next.
On the way, we head to Alabama and the SEC Football Media Days. You'll hear from the Wildcats, and you'll also see Nick Saban lose it. That's on the way in sports.
We have a couple of rumbles of thunder outside early this morning, one down in southern portions of Rockcastle County. As you're rolling across the Livingston area, that's going to roll just to the south of McKee. McKee, you go down 421 off towards, say, the Anvil area. Anvil, you're going to be next in line in about 15 to 20 minutes. Also, West Liberty getting in on the action. West Liberty, you're getting the first cell. The next cell is actually right behind that one, and it's heading right through your neck of the woods here in just about 5 to 10 minutes. So the cell you have now will move on through, and then you'll get another one that passes on through. The good news here is there's nothing really to worry about. It's mainly just some rain there on the yards. A lot of lightning within those, too. Small chance early this morning. We go through the day. It still looks like morning hours about a 40% chance of rain. Then we hit the afternoon off into the evening hours. That's when you'll have some strong storms. There's no doubt about it. Most of us will have strong storms. However, maybe a little severe weather, it's a possibility. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. First, let's check out sports, see what's going on.
The Kentucky Wildcats should have plenty of motivation heading into a new season. It was UK's turn at the SEC Media Days yesterday. The sting of last season and the way it ended is still there.
It's a game they can't get out of their heads, and truth be told, they don't want to. The season-ending loss to Louisville.
If we want to use that as motivation, we should. You know, because you talk about finishing the season, and there's no better example than the last game of the year when you're up 21 points and can't finish it out. That's a situation that we've got to get fixed.
I personally use every loss just as motivation because you can't pinpoint an exact play, but you know there's a couple of them in there that if they go your way or you make them go your way, then the whole outcome is different, the season's different.
What they're trying to avoid, of course, is another year that sees Kentucky win just 5 games and fall 1 victory shy of a bowl bid.
Guys don't want that same feeling, especially 2 years in a row. I know I don't. You know, coming so close, knowing we have the coaching staff, you know, the fan base, the facility to actually put our team in a position to win and not doing it. It's really frustrating.
It's going to take a lot of pride. We gotta go in and, you know, we gotta hit people in the mouth, and we gotta be tough. We gotta, you know, show guys that we earn the right to be in this, you know, in this league, in the SEC.
As we get better, as we improve, as we get depth, and as we train more, as I've talked about, we'll put ourselves in a position to finish those games and to finish the season.
In Birmingham, Dick Gabriel, WKYT.
Now, once Nick Saban was finished with some interviews on the SEC network, they went to a commercial, and Saban had some displeasure with Paul Feinbaum and appeared very animated. The Alabama coach left the set and was continuing to try to make a point why a couple of his players should not be suspended. Feinbaum told CBS Sports, quote, "as upset and angry as I've ever seen him." Apparently it ended, however, with a few laughs from everyone as he left the set. That's a look at sports for today. Have a great Thursday.